Welcome to Dental Success Beyond Chairside, the podcast that is dedicated to revolutionising the way dental professionals succeed beyond the dental chair. Join us for a unique blend of insightful interviews with industry experts and valuable tidbits of information to help you thrive in your dental specialist practice. In each 20-minute episode, we'll delve into a variety of topics, including HR, marketing, innovative techniques and systems, and AI, to help you transform your practice and unlock its full potential. Whether you're a dentist, specialist, or oral health therapist looking to enhance your practice, this podcast is your go-to resource for professional, personal, and profitable success. Get ready to go beyond the dental chair and discover what lies ahead in your practice journey with Dental Success Beyond Chairside. Welcome to today's episode of Dental Success Beyond Chairside. As a dental practice owner, how often do you look at your numbers beyond tax time? More importantly, do you know what they're really telling you? Today, I'm joined by Arthur Addinall, a chartered accountant and partner at a leading accounting firm, Keys Forrest. Arthur specialises in helping medical professionals, particularly doctors, dentists, and veterinarians, navigate the complexities of business growth, succession, and exit planning. He's also a certified exit planning advisor and is known for turning financial data into strategic insights, helping clients make confident, informed decisions. Arthur, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode.
Thanks for having me, Michelle.
We're looking forward to hearing what knowledge you can impart to our listeners. Can you share a bit about your journey and why understanding your financials is essential for running a sustainable, growth-ready dental practice?
My journey has been slightly different than most. I started off in public practice and then went into corporate environments for a decade before I came back into public practice in Australia. It's a little bit of a blend, but I think that sometimes it's not a bad thing because it gives me a bit of a commercial view as well as a tax view. It's something quite handy to not just look at the tax numbers.
Absolutely. I feel that a lot of owners don't really look at their numbers until tax time. Can you talk about the importance of what people need to be looking at to ensure that they're sustainable, both short and long term?
I think when you're running a business, it's easy to forget sometimes that it is a business. Because you get so stuck into the day-to-day running of the business, especially dentists, they're billing by the hour to some extent, and they're very busy. Taking the time to get a decent set of numbers, firstly, I think it limits your risk. If something is going wrong in your business and you've got your fingers on the pulse, you're going to pick it up. And the sooner you pick it up, the less damage you're going to basically have. I think other than limiting your risk a little bit, if you've got your fingers on the pulse, it allows you to start planning for the future. It allows you to use the information you've got to start making strategic decisions in your business. And I think if you don't do that, you'll get stuck. You'll just be on a loop trying to survive endlessly and, go into your day-to-day business. But you won't optimize your business and it will be harder to make strategic long-term decisions.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Arthur. With a lot of dental practice owners, they don't realise it is a business. They graduate and they go and work for someone and think, I'm just going to buy my own practice because I can have the scope to do what I'd like to do. Then the plan is, they get a fit out and it's just amazing. They start getting patients by their natural ability and they are great clinicians. But at the end of the day, as you said, they probably haven't looked at the numbers. And the thing is as well that I've seen, Arthur, is that they don't like numbers. So they don't really look at them because it doesn't interest them. But the importance of knowing it is a lot. They need to invest in people to help them. And sometimes I think they look at that investment as they're not getting a return. But I think that they need people to help them around them to be able to do that. So if it's your accountant or your bookkeeper that's reporting and looking at it for you and just having that conversation once a month or once a quarter, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head there as well. I think any advisor that you bring in, they have to add more value than what they are costing you. So, I think if people use coaches all the time. So even if you go to the gym, if you want to make good progress, you get somebody that is a specialist in what they do. I mean, these actors in Hollywood, they've got teams of people around them. They have the best diets, they have the best exercise, they'll have the coaches around them. I think for a dental practitioner, your most precious thing that you've got is time, right? So you need to buy time. One of the ways to buy time is to get the right people on your team. If it's a person like you, Michelle, that steps in, that has seen 100 dental clinics, and you're able to add value, you're saving that dentist a lot of time and pain and effort of trying to redesign the wheel. That's where the numbers come in, because if you've got a rhythm in your business where once a month you sit down, you say, okay, what's worked well this month? Our staff is performing, our clients are happy, our systems are doing what they're supposed to be doing, our social reputation is hitting the rise. It's a bit of a structured view of looking where you're at, because then you can decide, okay, maybe I want to get a marketing guy in this month. Maybe I want to get an HR guy in this month. Maybe I don't want to have this practice anymore. Maybe my dream is having a bigger practice with 4 or 5 dentists working for me so that I can work 3 days a week and go pick up my kids at school and have a life. If you plan these things, they can become real. But if you don't plan them, you're being reactive. You're not being proactive. And I think the numbers are just a scoreboard. Any game you play, you want to know if you're winning. You want to know what the target is. So if you've got a budget and you're achieving it, that's what you're working towards. The other thing you've also mentioned is, return on investment. We talk about, value gaps. What is your business worth, versus what can your business be worth? If you're looking at retirement down the track, how much do you need your business to be worth to actually be able to reach your retirement goals? All of that strategic framework or roadmap, it starts with numbers. It starts with doing the basics in the clinic and doing good bookkeeping and actually bringing in people to help you analyze the information and start to make some strategic moves to where you want to get to.
Arthur, I think your analogy with the scoreboard will resonate with a lot of owners, because I think most dental practitioners really want excellence and want to be the best at what they're at. So that's probably a nice thing. The rhythm you talked about in having that monthly sheet that looks, I would advocate that so much. It's just a one pager, the business, so you can look at the figures. Even if you have your bookkeeper or your accountant feeding you those figures, having a look at the productivity, where your referrals are coming from, and as you said, what's been working really well and what can be improved. So looking at those gaps as well. It's all about setting up those foundations for success. The analogy I always use, when you're building a house, I think a lot of dental practice owners just put up the bricks. They forget about those foundations. And at the end of the day, the bricks will stay there for a little while, but over time, they're just going to collapse. As you said, you're just in that constant circle with nothing happening. When you have a cash flow and a budget and you know what you're working towards, we did this. Ross was very technological and he wanted toys for the boys, if you want to put it that way. But we had to work for those. Well, we're doing this now. If we can get this, you can get this. So it's very strategic and it helps you make informed decisions about where you're at. I'm working with an owner at the moment and they're looking at purchasing another property. I said, well, you need this person to look at that. And it's like, oh, how much money is that going to be? And go, you're looking to invest $1, $2 million, huge amounts in the property fit out. This is such a small percentage to protect you for a lifetime, to make sure your wealth generation is happening for what you want in the future. And I think that people's mindset have to change. Unfortunately, I think just in dentistry, everybody gets together and it's like, I didn't realize it was going to be like this. Everyone's like, oh, that's just normal, but it's not. I think I remember meeting with you, Arthur, and you talked about it takes a village to raise a child.
That's called Ubuntu. It's a African philosophy. That's where it's good to get advisors that specialize in dental businesses, right? Because they've seen what what you're going through, what you're gonna go through. It's not rocket science. If you've got the right people on your team, you eliminate the risk. That's so easy to understate because you don't want something catching you off guard that you didn't see coming. Right? Things can happen. That's part of what we try and do with our clients is talk to them about, the personal lives, the personal financial planning, as well as their business planning. Right? There's three aspects to it: your personal financial planning, your personal goals that you want to achieve. Like you say, toys for the boys. Yes, if you're running a game and you say this is what we want to achieve. If we achieve this, this is the prize. That's what we're working towards. That's good. That's a win-win-win for everybody. I think you have to have a life, and your business will get you there. It's the vehicle that you use to get you there. But there's balance. I think it's just a process to step through.
Your business does affect your life, especially your personal life. That's why we put in that structure and those rhythms as well, where we just talk about the business once a month. Interestingly, I did a podcast with Ross and he talked about the business, these strategic business meetings, we called them each month. I didn't realize he really hated those. He didn't say hate them, but I didn't look forward to them. But he saw what it achieved. And you could see the big picture. He said, and that was a really good thing for us moving forward with what our goals were. And we weren't discussing the business over the dishes or at the dinner table with the kids. We were able to spend that time and invest in that personal time and have that balance. I think burnout for a lot of dentists can be because of these things not being in place. So they've got all the people at work in one ear and then they've got the people at home in the other ear, and then they've got their patients that they're trying to be compassionate with, not do pain, who tell them every day, nothing against you, but we hate dentists. They're more or less getting told every day that they're being hated. I think the importance of having those people sets up those rhythms and it sets you up for success. And that's what this series is all about. It's about sustainability, not just for the planet, but for personal and for business and for profit and for wealth creation.
Well, that's when you touch on a lot of things there. But I think the important thing is people, or dentists specifically, because it can be a very taxing career. As a business owner, you're not alone, right? I mean, if you choose to do it alone, I think that's a very hard road to travel. Bring in the people you need to bring in. You have your accountant that you've got a relationship with, your bookkeeper, your financial planner, your commercial lawyer if you need one, your a specific industry specialist like you. Bring in a team to support you, because otherwise it can be tough, right? So I mean, why not make it a bit easier, you know?
Exactly, exactly. Is there anything that we haven't covered, Arthur, that you feel that we still need to cover to help our listeners with?
No, we could probably speak about this kind of stuff for 3 hours. I would just say to people, as an entrepreneur, as any type of business owner, don't forget your business is a business. Business is personal, but I think your strategic planning needs to be at three levels: your family, your personal financial planning. That's where a very good financial planner would be a good thing as well. Then your business track. At the end of the day, you want to increase the value. You want to understand the value that's generated by your business. Because I've seen dentists having to sell businesses on short notice, and then they lose a lot of money. They lose a lot of money that they leave on the table that they could have actually used for their families and for their wealth planning.
I do love this podcast because we interview people and everything all matches together. Like we had Craig Keegan on, he's talking about selling, and obviously those, when something happens, if you get sick. We had
Yeah.
financial planner Kelly King. She's basically saying exactly the same as you. I always say, if you're going to track one financial thing, track your personnel costs, because your personnel costs are your biggest cost in any dental practice. The importance of understanding how much you're spending on your team as opposed to what you're receiving in income. If you just track one thing, just track that. What would you say to that?
Well, look, that's fair enough. That's probably one of your biggest expenses. So if you track that pretty well, you'll probably track the smaller things as well. But cash flow is king. Plan and track your cash flow. Identify your big ticket items like what you've identified. Then be aware of your risk profile. You want to limit your risk, and you don't want any surprises. You want the right people on your team, and you want a business that will flourish and be sustainable and will give you what you need in life from that business.
I think if they start tracking that one thing, they'll realise the importance of that whole planning and that whole cash flow. I always advocate cash flow. It's just getting
Get a
into
rhythm.
Please listen to everything that they're saying, because it's so true. Investing in your people is just going to create wealth for you short and long term to get your personal goals, your business goals, and your retirement goals.
Yep. Invest in your people and they will take care of you.
Excellent. Okay, Arthur, thank you so much for joining us and imparting your knowledge with our listeners. Really appreciate the time that you've spent with us. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for having me.
See ya.
Thanks. See ya. Okay, bye.
In our next episode, we're talking about building wealth with intention. I'll be joined by Kelly King, Director and Senior Wealth Advisor at Iconic Wealth. Kelly works closely with dental professionals to help them structure their businesses for long-term financial growth. We'll explore how the right financial planning can bring clarity, reduce tax, and set you up for future success. Thanks for listening to Dental Success Beyond Chairside. See you next time.